Ancelotti. Ancelotti also has the pattern of having a great season and fumbling 2 seasons in a row, or having 2 great seasons and fumbling a season. So I don't want this to be the case in this situation.
The season when the Mbappe deal first happened, and this is something we'll keep talking about throughout the whole season. We might, guys, to be honest, we might talk about Real Madrid every single week. Like that's going to be the case.
I like the fact that the front line is playing for each other. They are being too passive, and I feel like Mbappe is putting himself under too much pressure, wanting to be, wanting to score his goal or like his first goal for the team.
Yeah.
He needs to just relax and like let the game come to him.
That's one of the things when I was analyzing the game. Is like Mbappe, he looks like he's trying to force things too much, and in a sense, it's like you're of course going to try your hardest to try and score. You're of course going to try your hardest to
Hmm.
try and score your own goal. But for a player like
Yeah,
Mbappe, I'm pretty sure not in things in life you shouldn't take things for granted. But Mbappe is going to score a lot
hmm,
of goals for Real Madrid. My
yeah,
expectation and really something for Mbappe is for him to finish within the top four greatest Real Madrid scorers. I want him to be right there with
facts.
Benzema, Ronaldo, and Raul, and he
Hmm.
and he has the potential to do that. But right now, it just looks forced.
Facts.
The goal is going to come through.
Hmm.
I'm not too worried about that. And really and truly, my
Hmm.
problem isn't really with Barcelona because yeah, Bellingham being injured. I mean, isn't really with Real Madrid. It's more with Barcelona. I'm going to talk about
Hmm.
Barcelona more in a second. But yeah, Bellingham being injured, that of course, I think that's a very good analysis. That is of course going to
Hmm.
be a side effect of the tremendous amount of football these players are playing, and it just comes back to that
Yeah.
question of like, um, you know, not to put anyone out in a sense, but at the same time, UEFA and La Liga and all these corporations, at the
Hmm.
end of the day, they're all businesses. Yes, they are
Yeah.
trying to deliver the best footballing product possible, but
Hmm.
that comes at a cost of all of these players being overplayed
Yep.
to a point where you get injuries like Bellingham. I remember a few years ago, we all know what happened to Pedri with him playing in the
Hmm.
Euros, the whole season, the
Hmm.
Olympics. That he came back, it
It
was
took him 2 years to get right.
yeah, like he was so skinny. He did not look like a professional top player anymore. So that is of course going to happen. But is there anything else you want to say about Real Madrid and before we move on to Barcelona?
No, I just feel like we need to get our shit together, with all of this squad depth and how good the league is becoming. I feel like anything less than a La Liga this season is a failure for Real Madrid. We can't be going against people who are going through financial crisis
Yeah,
and going through all of their situations and still make it feel like it's a competition. It's time we take the
yeah,
bull by the horn. When we were going through our crisis, in 10 years, Barcelona won the league, I think, 6 times in 10 years. And we had to share the four with Atletico. You get me? So that
yeah.
means when we go through our stuff, Barcelona capitalizes and really demolishes the league. But when they go through their stuff, on our watch, they were able to win a league title.
Like yeah, last year should have never happened. That was poor.
You understand me? They were able, that was last 2 years. Last year
Yeah,
we won.
I'm saying last year, like as in 2023.
Okay, okay. Okay. You understand me? So it is crazy like that. So like yeah, that is all I have to say about Real Madrid. Ancelotti also has the pattern of having a great season and fumbling 2 seasons in a row, or having 2 great seasons and fumbling a season. So I don't want this to be the case in this situation. I want him to bow out gracefully.
Yeah, and this is something that we talked about at the start of the season when the Mbappe deal first happened. And this is something we'll keep talking about throughout the whole season. We might, guys, to be honest, we might talk about Real Madrid every single week. Like that's going to be the case. The biggest team in world football with the best squad. We might talk about them every single wek on the footy experts. But
Hmm.
the big thing is just the expectation. Your team is so good, and like it, they just won. They just won, and this is part of the reason why I'm not going too much on Real Madrid. And I think this is like a perfect segue because the other team, Barcelona, the team that we've been pointing the finger at, the team that I've been very
Hmm.
critical of throughout the whole summer. Even when they won the league, I was critical of them that year, but they still managed to win the league. And the thing that you said is really how I feel about what Man City have been able to do to Manchester United, It's like when your rivals are down and you're the two biggest teams in the league in the country, this is when you need to make the most out of it. This is when this is your time to absolutely dominate and squeeze every single ounce of success that you can, because the competition level is down. And again, this isn't really anything to do with Real Madrid per se for now. It's just my point here is that I'm trying to praise Barcelona because the football they're playing right now is fantastic. With all the problems they've had, with the speculation of them not being able to sign Dani Olmo into the team, Barcelona have been able to stay consistent, and they've been able to play some amazing football. And I think that's
amazing football.
Yeah, that and I know it's only been 2 games, but I think we shouldn't overlook that. Because if this keeps progressing, like Real Madrid dropping points in their first game, Mbappe not yet scoring goals, Bellingham getting injured, it's like these small things that begin to pile up and derail your season. The points that you drop now that end up derailing your season. Again, no time to over analyze, but again, you have to look at what you have in front of you. And what we see right now is Barcelona, a team that was struggling and that now are playing great football. And this is really at its core what this Barcelona team or this Barcelona club have been in their core. Because a lot of people, they make the argument that Real Madrid are the biggest club, but Barcelona play the best football. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these two teams in like in polar opposite extremes in their these clubs, in their progression, how they're going to be able to compete against each other.
Yeah, that is very true. And I would give all of the credit to the Barcelona coach. He seems to be a very tactical presence in the squad.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things that were ongoing under Xavi, and this is no knock to Xavi, that were ongoing under Xavi that wouldn't fly under this Barcelona coach.
Yeah.
You understand me? He seems to be comfortable with like putting players out of position. The new role that he has Rafinha playing. When the starting lineup comes, how many times have you seen Rafinha in the number 10 role? You get me? Linking up with the Ferran Torreses and linking up with the Lamine Yamals. Rafinha is playing, he's playing matured football.
Yeah.
And that is what all credit to the coach finding out that Rafinha can have a performance like that in that role and pushing players to play in the positions out of their comfort zones. You get me? And I'll talk back to when they substituted Dani Olmo. When Dani Olmo came into play, even though Ferran Torres was doing good, he wasn't exceptional. Lamine Yamal was being used more than Ferran Torres was being used.
Yeah.
And Lewandowski isn't giving them that striker's presence up front. Is losing touches and making mistakes. You understand me? And that is something that I actually watched with Lewandowski from last season, and it entered into this season. You get me? But I would say the midfield presence of Pedri and Bernal, the youngster, was just exceptional. This coach has been able to bring 3 youngsters into this current team, and they are playing amazing football. Kubarsi, Martin, Bernal, all are living up to the expectations. All are living up to their performances in the preseason. And it looks like he's giving them the confidence to push through. JVM, think about it.
Yeah.
They are not supposed to be the starting 11. They are not supposed to be the ones to play that role. If the backups are able to pull their weight like this, what happens when the likes of Frankie de Jong come back? When the likes of Arao come back? When the likes of Gavi, whom they are slowly bringing back into the team? They don't want a repeat of the Ansu Fati situation.
Yeah.
How would the team be, and how will substitutions be for this coach when all of these people come through? Barcelona are playing amazing football. They went down against Rayo Vallecano and they didn't lose a beat. They didn't lose composure. It looks like they are playing with different levels of confidence this season. And I feel like that would be very, very very, very detrimental for every La Liga team who's underrating Barcelona coming into this season. You get me?
I think it just touched upon this, like that composure, that confidence. That's what a winning team looks like. And again, no one's jumping the gun here. There's still a lot of football to be played. Barcelona, as we said, they're inexperienced players. They're gonna show their true colors, or they could show their true colors. We don't know. And Real Madrid, they can just pick things back up. And even if they don't, they've got enough individual talent to where if Mbappe hits a stride, Mbappe can end up scoring 25, 30 goals this year. So no one jumping the gun. But the analysis of these first two games is that Real Madrid have some issues to fix, and hopefully these small problems don't pile up throughout the season. And Barcelona, yes, Real Madrid have a better squad and they spent more money, and even in a sense they just made better deals overall. But there's a way to beat them, and that way is by playing great football. And Barcelona so far have played great football.
They have JVM. They have, per my own rating, Kubarsi, Bernal, and Yamin Yamal had one of the most exceptional matches against Rayo Vallecano. The only other two people that I would put as very exceptional performances would be Pedri, who probably is the best player of the game, and Rafinha, whom I was amazed at his performance in a new role. You get me? But those kids, they are all 17 years old. Even though Yamin Yamal is getting all of the shine, Bernal played 90 minutes. 17 years old played 90 minutes. JVM. I was so impressed. His current market value isn't up to €1 million.
1 million is crazy.
If he continues like this till the end of the season, this kid is going to move from 900k market value to at least 40 M's.
Again, it just goes to speak about the La Masia. And it just gives me like late 2000s vibes all over again.
All over again.
And the Galacticos and Barcelona and the academy and the great manager.
Facts. Their new signing, Dani Olmo, came in for how many minutes? And got a goal. Free-flowing football, bro. Free-flowing football. Free-flowing football. You get me? So, like, Real Madrid should up their game, man. All of the other teams should up their games, because, these people are coming. They are coming. So far, they are the only team who has won every single game. Every other La Liga team has either drawn or lost the game.
And also, the final thing I want to say about that is that begins to create blind confidence. And, just taking it away from football here for a second, if you think of any, like, successful story that we've had just in history in general, it usually becomes with an individual with a confidence that they can just do something. Even in allegorical sense, like David and Goliath, like no one, David just put in his head that he could beat Goliath. This blind confidence, it gives all of these players boosts to carry on throughout the season. And this is something that Real Madrid, at least if I was a Real Madrid player, I did not want to happen. I did not want to have to deal with Barcelona in a year where we're meant to be dominant.
Yep. In a year that you're supposed to be the top guns.
Yeah.
Don't let them. This is what they do to us every year. This is what they do to us every year.
Final verdict on that. I thought that was a very good talk and a very good analysis on La Liga. Really and truly, it's like, again, we'll be talking about Real Madrid and Barcelona all throughout the season. These are the two biggest clubs in world football. It's impossible for us not to. But something else that's brewing up. We're going to talk about PSG as well in a second, because they've also been playing amazing football. But there's a deal that's been bothering me for the past few days, and it's the Jadon Sancho and Raheem Sterling deal. And this has to be the worst, the most disgusting rumor